Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Before continuing, please review the legal disclaimer provided in the comments section of this video, and make sure to see the video till the end to get a full understanding of how it all works. On this channel, we share practical guidance on visa processes, immigration pathways, investment and citizenship options and related topics to help you make informed decisions. If you are unsure about your visa options or planning your next step, consider subscribing and enabling notifications so you stay updated with the latest developments. Right now, in the middle of the South Pacific, there is a destination that feels almost unreal. Crystal lagoons, quiet islands, warm ocean winds, and a travel system that surprises most global travelers with how simple it actually is. The Cook Islands. But here's the truth. Most people only realize when they start planning seriously. Even though the Cook Islands feels like a remote paradise, its entry system is structured, strict at the border, and extremely dependent on preparation. So in this full deep dive, we are breaking down everything you need to know about the Cook Islands tourist visa process from a global traveler perspective in 2026. Step by step. No confusion, no assumptions, just clarity. And stay until the end, because there is one small detail at immigration that often catches first-time travelers off guard. Let's begin. First, you need to understand the foundation. The Cook Islands does not operate a complicated pre-application tourist visa system for most travelers. Instead, it uses a visitor permit system issued on arrival. That means for many global travelers, you do not apply for a visa before you travel. You arrive first. Then immigration assesses your entry at the airport. If everything is in order, you are granted a visitor permit at the border. But here is where most people misunderstand the system. Simple entry does not mean unconditional entry. Every traveler must still meet strict arrival requirements before permission is granted. Now let's break down the main entry structure clearly. There are three key pathways. First is visa-free eligible entry. Second is visitor permit on arrival. Third is prearranged approval for special cases. Let's go deeper. Visa-free eligible entry is the most common experience for global tourists. Most visitors can enter the Cook Islands without applying in advance, but even in this case, entry is not automatic. At the border, immigration officers still verify your eligibility, and you must meet all entry conditions before receiving permission to stay. Now here is the key detail. Even visa-free travelers are not exempt from documentation checks. You must still present key travel evidence on arrival. Now let's move into the second pathway. Visitor permit on arrival. This is the standard system used for most international travelers. When you arrive in Rarotonga, you complete arrival documentation and proceed to immigration control. The officer then reviews your passport, travel purpose, accommodation details, and financial readiness. If everything is satisfactory, you are issued a visitor permit. The typical initial stay is up to 31 days for most travelers. And this is one of the most important numbers to remember. 31 days is the baseline tourist stay in many cases. Now here's where many travelers make their first mistake. They assume arrival permission means unlimited flexibility, but it does not. Your stay duration is clearly defined when you enter, and it must be respected. Now let's talk about extensions. This is where the system becomes more flexible, but also more structured. Visitors may apply for extensions depending on circumstances. Extensions are handled locally and are not guaranteed. In some cases, travelers may extend their stay beyond the initial period, but approval depends on compliance, reason, and documentation. and there is a long-term cap on total visitor stay within broader rules. Now let's move into the third pathway. Pre-arranged approval. This applies to travelers who do not qualify for visa-free or standard arrival processing. In these cases, approval must be obtained before travel. The process typically involves submitting travel details, passport information, accommodation proof, and financial evidence. Once approved, you are allowed to travel and receive entry permission on arrival under specific conditions. Now let's talk about one of the most important requirements in the entire system: passport validity. This is one of the most common reasons travelers face delays or even boarding refusal before departure. Your passport must generally be valid for at least 6 months beyond your departure date from the Cook Islands. Not your arrival date, your exit date. If your passport is close to expiry, airlines may refuse boarding before you even reach the airport. Now let's move into required arrival documents. Even though the Cook Island system is simple, immigration is very clear about basic requirements. You should always be ready with a valid passport, a return or onward flight ticket, proof of accommodation such as hotel booking or host confirmation, proof of sufficient funds to support your stay, and completed arrival information forms if required. These are not optional in practice. They are essential for smooth entry. Now let's talk about arrival experience. This is where the Cook Islands often surprises travelers in a positive way. The airport is small, and processing is usually efficient compared to major international hubs. But there is one important factor. Flights often arrive in waves, especially from major regional routes, so queues can form quickly when multiple planes land at similar times. Patience becomes part of the arrival experience. Now let's talk about permitted stay duration again, in a practical sense. Most travelers are granted around 31 days initially. This is the standard tourist window in many cases. Some travelers may receive variations depending on nationality or immigration discretion, and extensions may be possible under application, but the key rule remains the same. You must not overstay your permitted duration. Overstaying can affect future travel eligibility and compliance history. Now let's talk about extension applications. If you want to stay longer, you must apply locally before your current stay expires. Immigration will review your reason for extension, your financial stability, your compliance with entry conditions and supporting documentation. Approval is not automatic, so planning ahead is essential. Now, let's talk about something many travelers underestimate: immigration intent. Even in a relaxed island destination, officers still assess whether you are a genuine tourist. They may ask simple questions like, why are you visiting? Where are you staying? How long do you plan to stay? How are you funding your trip? Consistency is more important than complexity. Clear answers create smooth entry. Unclear answers create delays. Now let's talk about what is not allowed on a tourist permit. A visitor permit is strictly for tourism purposes. That means no employment, no paid work, no business activity, no long-term residence planning under visitor status. If you want to work or stay long-term, different pathways are required. Now let's talk about preparation mindset. Most travel issues are not caused by complex rules. They are caused by missing basics. No return ticket, no accommodation proof, weak financial evidence, or expired passport validity. These simple gaps create the biggest problems. Now let's talk about digital travel preparation. Most travelers now store documents digitally. That is generally acceptable, but always keep offline copies available, because connectivity or device issues can create unnecessary stress at immigration. Now let's talk about family travel. Each traveler, including children, must have a valid passport, and each person must meet entry requirements individually. Immigration may also ask additional questions when families travel together. Now let's address a common misconception. Some travelers believe they can switch from tourist status into work or long-term residence easily while inside the Cook Islands. In most cases, this is not allowed under visitor conditions. Different visa categories must be arranged separately. Now let's zoom out. The Cook Islands tourist visa system is one of the most accessible in the Pacific region. But accessibility does not mean absence of rules. It simply means the rules are clear and applied at the border. And when travelers understand this, the experience becomes smooth, predictable, and stress-free. Now here is the final insight. The Cook Islands does not reward complicated preparation. It rewards simple, correct preparation. Valid passport, return ticket, accommodation proof, sufficient funds, clear travel intent. When those elements are in place, entry is usually straightforward, and that is what makes this destination unique. A place that feels remote and peaceful, yet still runs on a very structured and disciplined border system behind the scenes. Because in the end, travel is not just about reaching paradise. It is about arriving ready to enter it properly. If you found this video valuable, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel, because we break down real immigration pathways, real strategies, and real insights, so you can make the right decisions without falling into common traps. And our expert team and associates can assist you to simplify this entire complex process and guide you from start to finish with complete peace of mind. Do get in touch with us. Now on our WhatsApp mobile number +642217860007, also provided in the comment section of this video, and we will get in touch with you as soon as possible. Your journey deserves the right start, and it starts with the right consultation. And now you have it. Thank you for watching.